You know what's funny? We used to do everything possible to avoid having grain in our photos. We do not want any of those noise. We choose the lowest ISO, we go for the perfect lighting, we have the clean sensor, like we treated noise like the enemy. Well, Nikon just dropped a new firmware update for the Nikon ZF, this guy, and they added film grain on purpose. So that's this digital film grain. Is that a yuck or is that a yum? Hello everyone, my name is Wong and I'm a creator sharing my creative journey in photography and videography. And today we're going to talk about something interesting to me. We're going to talk about film grain, but not any kind of film grain. We talk about digital film grain. And that happens because the new firmware for the Nikon ZF, this guy added that in. And I think that is actually a great thing for photographers. I feel like that's a controversial topic and a controversial take. But let's get a little background first. So this update adds something very simple, but kind of brilliant. In the picture control in the camera, there's something now called film grain. And that option that you can choose, and you can pick that, turn it on, and you can choose the intensity, you can choose the size of the grain. And since it is digital, you can also go back to the Nikon NX Studio software on the computer later and just tweak it to however you like. So it is flexible, it's reversible, it's not something that's really big in the photos when you're shooting raw. So it kind of changed how we think about digital photography. And here's what's wild, okay? Film grain used to be unwanted, and I'm sure it's still unwanted by a lot of people. Like, it is considered a flaw. Like, it is a limitation of analog film. Like, we spent years chasing cleaner, sharper, perfect images. And I used to always shoot at the lowest ISO. I mean, I still do, just to avoid noise. We treated grain like a disease. But now, in 2025, we're adding it back intentionally because we realize that perfection doesn't always feel authentic. And I think with the whole AI trend, that kind of caused that kind of mindset as well too. So it's kind of like lo-fi music, right? When you hear lo-fi music, people on purposely want to add stuff back into it to make it sound more old school. They added like tape hiss or those vinyl crackle noises. Not because they had to, but it just feels more human. And I think film grain is doing the same thing for photography. And I'll admit it, I used to be obsessed with clean files. If there was noise, I thought I messed up because I shoot as low ISO as possible. But the ZF changed how I see that now. But it's different, also depending on what photos I'm trying to create, right? With the Nikon ZF, what I'm taking out with me, it's not about creating flawless image. It's about feeling it, It's about film grain that add texture, add depth, add more emotion to my photos. And it takes a perfect digital image and make it feel alive, And I don't see that's a flaw. It's more of a style. So if you shoot raw, you can open your photos in Nikon NX Studio and you can fine-tune that grain later. You can change the amount, you can change the size, you can even remove it completely. So that flexibility is what makes this feature so smart and so cool, I guess. You're not married, you're not committed to, locking the way you want your photos to look. But it does give you another layer of creative control if you do want to add that in. Another thing that I love on the ZF is that there's a black and white mode here on the top that you can switch the style. And I feel like shooting in black and white is different. It feels immersive. Like you start thinking more about light, shade, and contrast, and the storytelling. Like it really forces you to slow down and focus on the art itself. And here's the best part. Again, Nikon still record the color data if you shoot in RAW. So if I ever change my mind, I can always take it back to the computer, open up NX Studio, and just, bring the color back. So again, it is the kind of creative freedom is what makes it so much fun for you to shoot however you want and at that moment. So this Nikon ZF camera, I know I wanted it when it first came out. In fact, it's very similar to this camera I have. This is an actual film camera that my dad used. And I took this from him so I can have it now if I ever want to shoot film again. But the point is, like, shooting with the ZF, even though it's digital, I like to slow down. I want to appreciate the craft more, you know? And part of it is like embracing the imperfection that film usually has. I know it's digital, so it's not exactly the same, but adding the film grain is not about pretending that I'm shooting film. It's more about chasing the character or trying to go for the emotion that comes with the photos. So modern camera, you can get clean shots, but I want to making sure that my photos have feelings to it. And it kind of reminds me of what I said earlier in a different video with my Fujifilm Insta-Evo camera. It's a hybrid camera, but you know, we're surrounded by a lot of digital tools. So digital camera, but we want that charm. We want that bit of unpredictable feelings that you get when you press a shutter, you know? Like, what is it gonna look like? Because back then, you don't know. You press a button, you don't know until you go develop the film. So I think that is not about just going backwards on photography, but it's more about keeping the soul of photography alive. It's like you want to be purposeful when you try to shoot. And here's the best part. After you take the photos, you can share those film nostalgic looking photos instantly. So on the phone, you can use the SnapBridge app. You can send those photos directly to your phone, and then you can either post them or you can share them with your friends. You don't need Lightroom, you don't need any filters. It's just ready to share. So what I'm taking straight out of the camera, I already love the feelings of it. It's not perfect because I'm not going for perfect. It's just ready to share, ready for the convenience, and it has that vibe. So it's kind of like a perfect of both worlds, you know? So I guess the final question is that digital film grain, is that a yuck or is that yum? For me, it is a yum, at least for this camera, because when I'm shooting with this, I'm not doing this for an assignment. I'm doing this for myself. And not every single photos need that perfection, you know? And I love how Nikon is leaning into more this expression instead of perfections, because they do make really great camera outside of this too. It's just giving us an extra tool to, you know, create texture, to celebrate creativity, you know, that feelings, that's what we wanted. It's kind of what photography is all about. And, you know, we have spent years chasing sharper sensor and cleaner files. But maybe what we really miss are those imperfections, you know, the ones that really make photos feel alive. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like, should camera keep adding like film-like feature like this? Because I know a lot of cameras doing that now. Like Fujifilm is one of the big brands that's doing that, adding a bunch of recipe, having all this like lens flare, like all this supposedly unwanted byproduct imperfections in photos, but they bring it back in on purpose. So maybe that's a good trend, maybe it's not. So let me know what you think in the comment down below. But thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Martin, and I'll see you in the next one.